when is this war with Ukraine going to end?
I would like you
Why
to...
a pause?
I would like you to hear to my pause.
Okay.
Because pause is a symbol of the smart diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we start talking about war, we should always take a breath, 2-3 seconds, that's every philosophy teaches, before we say something very decisive. Russia is definitely advocating for peace. But we truly believe if peace is not reachable within the conventional methods, and when you are not heard, I mean Russia, for years, for decades, since the late 2002, 2003, when the debates about the membership of Russia in NATO has been still actual, since that time, the drift, or let's say the divorce between European Union, West and Russia started to progress. And the more Russia has been advocating the agenda of peace, the less it has been heard. And in diplomacy, when you are not well heard, then Russia used to reply with rifles. That's why the conflict that we have between Russia and Ukraine, it's not the conflict between Russian nation and Ukrainian nation. It's a conflict which can be marked as existential, historically driven, and cognitively approved by the crack of the liberal system, by the crack of the geopolitical structure that has unprecedentedly and evidently came on the round table between Russia and the West. So in order to start talking when this war ends, we must find where the peace starts. Russia is absolutely open to negotiate discussion, but Russia is not open to negotiate with Ukrainian regime, which is absolutely 100% illegal. Everyone who has some minimum of expertise, who has been observing the dynamics of that deterioration, degradation of relationship between Moscow, Washington and Brussels, can identify all those points where Russia has been trying to deliver a strong message. Ukraine has been, and it is, traditionally a part of the Slavic world. And Mr. President, Russian President Vladimir Putin, has been exposed that position during his famous interview with Mr. Carlson, who has arrived to Moscow precisely in order to receive the answer when the war ends. And Mr. President Vladimir Putin was very patient to explain to his counterpartner, with demonstrating the maps, geography, giving historical context, why that kind of division has taken place here and now. Russia has refused to follow for the Western agenda. Russia has refused to stand on the knees and to become a member of so-called New World Order, the way the America understands that kind of type of hegemonical leadership. And Russia is the only country in the world that raised its voice and opposed that kind of, let's say, unfavorable alternative. That's why I can say that this war will end when the Western party, when Washington will be ready to use rational mechanism or rational approach and start moving towards Russia and Moscow with completely another rhetoric. From that moment, I think we can consider that the pause can be minimized and we can truly get to the practical point. Because from another point of view, we could see that the meeting in Istanbul and that kind of format, diplomatic efforts of making Mr. Zelensky meet with Mr. Putin completely failed, because Russian president will never ever sit at the round table with Mr. Zelensky to discuss peace deal, because this is a president who has been from the very beginning realizing completely anti-national, anti-Ukrainian agenda.
So that's the reason, if I'm wrong, please correct me. So that is the reason that the talks between Trump and Putin, that those talks failed, because Trump was probably not getting what Putin has to say, or there were like other reasons to it.
Mr. Putin has recently mentioned, when he was asking quite similar question, he said, don't try to interfere in my good relationship and dialogue with Mr. President of the United States, Donald Trump. The Russian president considers that the meeting in Alaska was a sign of constructiveness and a progress. And I tend to agree with the position and vision of our president, because I think that was an important breakthrough, that dialogue took place. The difference is that we have different political mindset, we have different approach. The administration of Donald Trump wants to pack up the conflict as soon as possible in a blitzkrieg manner. But unfortunately, it's not Vietnam, it's not Afghanistan, so you can't pack up your luggage and run after the airplane, losing your slippers. Russian approach is very precise, and Russian position translates an important stance. We must eliminate the reasons of this conflict if we wish to close up the deal on the consequences.
So how does the European Union takes it? Because they take Ukraine as a buffer zone, So if it is not happening, if the war is not stopping anywhere close to a year, 6 months' time, so if the buffer zone is not there, if Ukraine is not there, so the European Union countries, they are a bit, jittery about this thing, that the next move could be any part of Europe. Are they do they have a reason for that, the European countries? Do they have a reason to believe all these things that can happen? There's a smile coming up from you. Are you smiling now?
I'm very positive because I'm positivist, because I truly believe that rationalism is something that is traditionally, historically characterizing institutions of Europe. On purpose, I'm not saying European Union, because European Union was a branch. The headquarters was in Washington. And after the end of the Second World War, the project, which we call European Union, has been constructed on the soil of the ideology of United States. And dollar ruled since that time. So the system that has been built in European Union is absolutely, let's say, political proxy of United States in ideological way. And now we can see, if we use the economic terms, the last phase of the life cycle of the European Union as a project. And logically, every time when the life cycle used to reach the last phase, immediately appeared Russian threat. It's a very useful instrument in order to solve all the political, economic, financial and military problems in Europe. But I should dismantle the biggest illusion that the majority of my expert colleagues actually have in Europe. Europe has never been united. It's something that existed in a kind of mythological way in their mindset. Europe 20 years ago has been divided.